Good evening, everybody, and happy Monday evening, Victory Monday, as it is. Cleveland Browns pulled out their first victory of the season yesterday with the 18-13 victory down in Jacksonville, and we're here to talk about it. Joining me tonight is James Alferts and Clarence Wilson, and tonight our fearless leader Kevin Sleds is taking a little much needed day off. Um, he enjoyed the Guardians game yesterday and felt that he didn't have n- enough background of what happened yesterday to kind of lead us. So I'm stepping in for him. And how are we doing tonight, boys?
Doing pretty good. Has Kevin got some load management going on, or is he on a pitch
Yeah,
count? Then is that the deal?
he's a pup.
Well, hey man, he deserves it. Kevin puts in a lot of time with high school football right now with Believe Land Media, but tonight, Clarence feels like Brown and Orange Weekly once again, and sounds like we're going to have some fun tonight.
Have more fun than last week. Shit.
Yeah, definitely.
That goes without saying.
That's just the way I look at it. Much better performance than last week. Still leaves some things to be desired, but a win is a win is a win.
Yes, so the Browns did pull out the victory. First half looked a lot better than the second half. There were points during the first half that they looked how everyone expects them to look. You know, the offense was clicking. They had that miraculous first drive, 16 plays, march down the field, end with a touchdown. And that's what you expect from your, however much money they're paying Watson. I forget now, but it was good to see him kind of put the off-field stuff from earlier in the week kind of on the back burner and lead the team. What did you guys think after that opening drive that Watson led the team on?
It's a nice, long, sustained drive. It was nice to watch. Spread the ball around a lot, which was good. I believe what he hit was a 13 play drive or 16 play drive, lasted 9 minutes. It was like 89 yards. Looked solid. I got no complaints. It's what you like you kind of said. It's what you expect to see from Deshaun Watson and this Browns offense, and that's even without Nick Chubb on the field. So. They did try and run the ball a little bit more, which was nice. I would have liked to seen a lot more of Ford or our guy PSJ than Foreman, but I mean, again, I'll take the W. That's kind of where I'm at this point.
I think you hit the nail on the head as far as running the football, having Foreman in there starting with Ford coming off the sidelines, off the bench. Support him. That told me right from the beginning is they were going to look to play physical football. That the Pussycat Dolls that were out there on defense for Jacksonville, we were going to just take it to them physically. That's something you had to do. You had to lean on because of how bad we looked in the first week. Had the entire off season to get ready. You had preseason games to get ready, and we looked very, very, very out of sync. If any of you guys watched Kurt Warner's breakdown of the film, that was something that I found the most interesting thing to watch on YouTube all week, showing that there were 19 plays basically where he just was back there and couldn't get rid of the ball. So fast forward to this week, you had the first drive. You had, of course, what do we do? And I know Deshaun said this last year, doesn't really like the scripted plays, but the scripted plays on the first drive of him dropping back and getting rid of the football, not back there patting, not jumping around, moving all over the place, just getting in some kind of rhythm, and it got him down the field and got him in the end zone. The play that Watson scored on remind me very much of a play that you would see ran for Josh Allen when Dorsey was with the Bills, where they go wide, empty backfield, and Watson ran it in there. So definitely a great start to the game. Clock management, being with time possession there. So as far as the start goes, yeah, I would say I was very pleased with what I saw on the opening possession.
Yes, and then we kind of talked about this a little bit in our group text, kind of leading into the show, but Amari Cooper had a couple drops again this week, and we go back to training camp, and there were some rumors swirling, and he had some social media posts that kind of made it seem like he may not be too thrilled about those rumors, and it seems to have kind of rolled over here into the first couple weeks of the season. Do you want to go first, Clarence, and just kind of give your thoughts on what's going on with Amari through 2 weeks?
Sun's off. He's dropped 2 wide. I mean, those are big balls that he dropped week 1 and yesterday. Something is off, but I mean, can you blame the guy? His name was tossed out there. Well, I start from the beginning. First, they wouldn't give him a contract extension. Then they tossed him out there in trades. Now, who knows what's going on behind the scenes? Maybe AB went to him and said, all right, look, if we can trade you to San Francisco for Brandon Ayuk, all right, cool. We don't know if that happened or not. Personally, I'm not the biggest Ayuk fan. I don't know if it's him or the system that's causing his numbers, but regardless, something is not right, and I'm kind of at that point now. If they can move him now for somebody who's willing to give him a deal, do it. Like, Browns are built to win now, and having our best, most consistent wide receiver drop balls like he has the last few weeks, something is not right. I don't want to get rid of him. Again, I've said it before. I'll say it a million times. He's the only successful wide receiver that the Browns have brought in since '99, consistently successful, whether that be through drafts, trades, or free agency, whatever it might be. So I'd like to see him stick around, but we can't have that. We can't have that at all.
I guess I'm not really concerned. I'm trying to look past that. I'm trying to think it from a baseball season perspective of having a player that is an all-star caliber player, which Amari's, back-to-back 1,000-yard receiving yards for us. I'm not really nervous about it. For that, it's only week 2. There's other guys I'd be more concerned about, with obviously Watson at the quarterback position. I'm definitely more concerned about what he's going to do than if Amari's going to turn it around. I have full confidence in Amari Cooper's level of play, maturity level. That he'll get it back. I see some people panicking, thinking that, Jerry Jeudy needs to be the one if Amari's not going to step up. It's like, yes, I think the play in the week 1 where it felt like I wish he would have left his feet. I think he would have caught that. But then again, he was kind of in stride. This week was just a bad drop. Where I thought when I compared the two, I think he could have had that first one in week 1, but this one he definitely should have. But how many times in the joke you do that and everybody still says feed the chief, right?
Yes, yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I'm not concerned about Cooper.
I got used to it with Njoku. I'm not used to it with Coop. And
I know, I get it. Yeah, you're right, and that's why I'm saying I really think we don't need to sweat it. He'll come back, but I think I might have texted you guys today in the group chat. It's like, hey, Amari was used to that beautiful Flacco ball that was coming in. Well, if you remember his comments he made to the media after practicing and playing with Flacco, he throws a pretty ball. Deshaun, his ball is a little bit different. I think if you look at all 3 guys back in our quarterback room, DTR throws darts, right? If you remember last year, he was just throwing the piss out of the ball, trying not to get picked off, doing everything he could to hit those tight windows. But that ball came in screaming, sometimes too hot. Whereas Deshaun, I think, is a little more finesse with his throws. And then Jameis is he'll throw a good ball at anybody, and I mean anybody, not just our team, but the other team. But man, I shouldn't pick on Jameis because, man, did you see those fourth down pickups yesterday?
What is it with? I gotta ask y'all both. What is it with Stefanski and bringing in the backup QB to do these sneaks? Now they're successful. I really love the pitch play to Ford. That play was awesome.
Yes.
The second time, but like even going back to like Jacoby, like they would bring in Jacoby to spell Watson on these plays. But when Jacoby was there, at no point would they bring in DTR, who's a fast runner, to spell him. So like, I don't know. Again, we won, but I'm trying to figure out sometimes, what Stefanski's doing. But hey, I think all three of those fourth down plays worked, right?
Right.
So, but yeah, it's I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I know on the CBS broadcast they thought maybe it had something to do with Watson's shoulder, not wanting him to take extra hits to the shoulder on some of those quarterback sneaks. But yeah, it made me think that, Stefanski's back in his bag of tricks with the backup quarterback. But yeah, and we'll get into this because I was going to bring it up a little later, but sometimes I think Stefanski tries to outsmart himself. And,
100%.
Like he knows that he's smart. He knows he's got the analytics to back all this stuff up. And sometimes, like on that third down play there in the fourth quarter, Jacksonville's out of timeouts. If you run the ball, you can run another 40, 45 seconds off the clock. He calls for the pass play, trying to get the first down, falls incomplete, and you pretty much give Jacksonville an extra timeout there. And, it didn't work out for Jacksonville, but, if they get down there and score a touchdown, you point back to that play of throwing it instead of just running it to run the clock down. And, at some point, it's going to come back and bite them. It probably has in the past. It's just slipping my mind right now, but you gotta, not have as much confidence as he has with his play calling.
And what'd you say in our text yesterday, Clarence, about that?
What about
that pass play when we should have ran the ball and ran more clock?
I don't understand. I don't even remember what did I text?
By Hugh Jackson.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he turned into Hugh all of a sudden. That's right. I don't understand what, because if I'm not mistaken, there was like a minute, like right under a minute and a half left. I think when when he got tackled, when that pass went incomplete, there was like a minute and 27 seconds left. I mean, do the math. It's 40 seconds on the play clock. Or was it 35, 40, whatever it is. 40 seconds on the play clock. I'm playing too much college football and Madden and getting myself but just run that time off. So let's say a minute 27 seconds. You run the 27 seconds off, take the extra 13 off. So they're getting the ball with about 45 seconds left or maybe a little bit less. Instead, you give these guys a minute and a half almost. And it didn't work out. Like, why even call that play? Like, run the ball. Just run the ball. Or if you want to get fly, first off, it was stupid because he did a rollout to the left, and Watson's right-handed quarterback, right? So he rolls him out to the left.
Thrown across the body.
Yeah, like, what are we doing here, man? Like, what are we doing? But there was just so many. I guess back in the day, those are the kind of games we probably would have lost because of stupid shit like that. But, I mean, we got by, but I'll never understand. Like Derek said, sometimes this man he's smart, but he tries to be the smartest dude in the world when it's like, just run the ball. They have no timeouts. Let that clock run all the way down, take a timeout, punt it, like I said, give them the ball with 45 seconds left or less, and let them have to go down. I mean, that's my thoughts. But I mean, can't complain about that punt. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's always, guys, about big picture. We're living, yes, right now, yesterday we were living in week 2. We're at Jacksonville, an 0-1 Jacksonville, a Jacksonville that just did not play well down the stretch, a Jacksonville team that missed the playoffs. And you can see, yes, our defense, thank God our defense got new luggage from last year and could actually pack the home defense and take it on the road with them yesterday, because we finally showed up and played well on the road. So that's a sign of maturity. So I am happy for that. But like you're saying about just even that play call at the end, these mistakes, guys, big picture, outside of week 2, now that it's gone. And those are the things you got to get out of your system now and be thankful that you got away with it against a team that's not a great team. They're not a horrible team, but they're not a great team. That's the kind of stuff that will come and get us when we're starting to play better teams, especially on the road. And then we got to prepare ourselves, if we're going to be a playoff team again, that we have to cut that stuff out. Thankfully, did we even have a turnover yesterday? I think we had no turnovers, correct? I didn't even look at that. I meant to look at that. But I don't think we had any turnovers versus week 1, where we lost the turnover battle 2-0 to Dallas. So I'm thankful that we're turning that around, because we got to take care of the football. And you can see where if we can play defense, just run some and play physical, that Deshaun's play did not have to be at that Pro Bowl level. What did we talk about? He needs to be playing big in big moments. That kind of moment right there, like you're talking about, you got to think in your head that when you break the huddle, I'm not going to throw an incompletion on this. I need to run the clock no matter what. Run away from the defender, take the sack. But then we're talking about play call. If he does take a sack, there's an unnecessary hit, once again, that you just put your quarterback in, but yet you're going to take him out for these 4th and 1s over the line. To me, it just doesn't, those don't equate. So we got to get these things out of our system now. And every team in the NFL makes mistakes. We can all watch film. Every team can learn from it and try to clean things up, but it's the mental mistakes. And my gosh, Derek, I hope on your list is to talk about the penalties. Oh my gosh. We're going to have to dive into that.
Yeah, it was another week of, and not just penalties, but the unforced errors. Even from your star players, Myles Garrett jumping a couple of times. He got called for one. He was able to make it back before he was flagged for another one for neutral zone infraction or offsides. But these unforced errors. The Browns are a good team on paper, and they're showing it in glimpses. But you have to be a great team to overcome these unforced errors or mental errors over the course of a 17-game season. And, we're talking about, play calling that might come back and bite them. There's a very good chance that, some of these penalties and giving teams extra downs or, putting yourself behind the sticks on offense, it's going to come back and bite you. And, the first 2 weeks have shown that the discipline might not be where it needs to be for them to be successful.
13 penalties for a cool hundo. That's ridiculous. 13 penalties for 100 yards. This is the kind of shit we used to talk about with Hugh. Again, I'll bring his ass right back up. These are the kind of penalties that with Hugh Jackson that we would see all the time. Obviously, Stefanski's a much better coach than Hugh Jackson, but you can't deny that against a good team, and Jacksonville's an okay team. Let's just be real. They're an okay team. Jackson, Lawrence he's not who he's advertised to be. Um, I do like ATN. We did a solid on him, but this is just an okay fringe playoff team. You go 13 penalties for a hundo against a good team, it's a wrap. You're losing that game. You're losing that game. So they got to get that shit cleaned up quickly. The good thing, like you did say, James, there was no turnover. I thought for sure Foreman he dead dropped that ball at the goal.
Well, he did. He dumped it at the goal line, and then thankfully, and sometimes you know what? And we talk. There's so many things. What's the keys to the game? Sometimes it's just to be lucky.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, he fumbled the ball right there at the goal line, was able to fall right back on it. So sometimes it's just your day, and other days it's not. So you have to have some luck on your side sometimes.
Absolutely.
There were a couple big special teams plays. James made a little bit of a note on the one that we'll get into, but on the kickoff with the huge hit, I mean, that was a hit that you see in Madden or going back 5 or 10 years where the ball just shot 5 yards out of the returner's hand, but it was called back because under these new rules, Dustin Hopkins was past the 50-yard line before the ball was received, and it just makes me think, where the hell you going, dude? Like, you did your job.
Yeah.
You kicked it. Just hang out there, grab the tee and, mosey on over to the sideline. Why are you trying to run up the field when you have 10 defenders up there to do that?
I mean, there's no. I didn't either. I mean, none of us are, I don't think all of us are, really up to par on all that, the kickoff rules. I know McAfee show, they've talked about it a million times, but the kickers damn well know, you know what I mean? So I think he just absolutely just space cadet and lost his focus, and, he knows better. So keep kicking those 50-yarders, Dustin. You'll make us happy. But in reality, it says right now, I'm looking at the stats, no turnovers. That penalty, that was a turnover because we had the ball. We would have had the ball. Can't speak. The ball deep in their end of the field, and we had to re-kick it. So that, in my mind, is a turnover that does not show up in the stats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, these new rules, I just when they call that, I first off, when the flag came out, I was like, oh man, what are they going to get us with, like, roughing or unnecessary roughness because he hit his ass or something like that? And they say it's that. I'm like, where the hell did this come from? Like, this is new to me. So, and then Derek, you said the other one. I'm assuming you're talking about that punt.
Yeah, the punt from Borquez, not the last one, but the next to last one where it hit at the 1-yard line, bounced directly out of bounds, marked down at the 2, and then, of course, the sack in the end zone for the safety on the following play. Probably the 2 plays of the game, honestly, because, if that ball bounces into the end zone and Jacksonville brings it out to the 20 and you're only up 3 at that time, the game could go a completely different way from there. So, just a punter, you typically only know kickers and punters when they screw something up. But Borquez here last year and then so far this year has proven, kind of that old adage from Jim Tressel, Tressel ball, field position does matter. And being able to pin your opponent deep and, in his case, a lot of times not even allow for the return man to even try for a return really helps out the defense. And, when you have the defensive line that the Browns do, and I know they're missing a few pieces on defense, but still to get in there and get a safety on the following play really swung the momentum back into the Browns' favor. So just, you guys have anything to add about Borquez or that punt in particular?
It was that end of the field between the form and fumble and then recovery. That ball out of bounds, where I said sometimes better be lucky than good. He was definitely great, not good, great, where he was able to drop that. And then the Alex Wright sack. So a lot of good things happened in that right near that end zone yesterday.
Yeah, he flexed afterwards, and he doesn't put his name on shitty beer like Jamie Gillen did. So he's all good in my book. I don't know if you ever tried that Jamie Gillen beer. It was like beer and electrolytes. It's the worst shit I ever had in my life.
Oh.
Sounds terrible.
So, coming off the win, the Browns do return home for Week 3, and they welcome in the New York Giants, who fell in a close battle against Washington. They're 0-2. They're definitely marred in some quarterback controversy and, lost quite a few players over free agency last year. But our old friend Brian Dable comes to town as their head coach. And this almost feels like a trap game because after this week, the Browns head out to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders, who are one of the surprise teams, I think you would say, at 2-0 with Gardner Minshew as their quarterback and, Antonio Pierce. It was a feel-good story last year. They re-signed him or took the interim tag off of him, and he has them 2-0. And so what are you guys worried that, maybe they look past it like, oh, we're coming back home. The Giants are 0-2. They don't have a quarterback and, things like that? Or do you think that they have enough leadership, whether it be in the coaching staff or from their captains, kind of make sure that their full focus is on the New York Football Giants as they come to town next Sunday?
Go ahead, Clarence.
I still kind of think that we're in this kind of like pattern of we don't know what we're going to see every week. Especially the quarterback slot. He played better. But there wasn't really much else for him to go but up. So I kind of feel like we're in that boat. Our defense, it looks like we know our defense play well at home, so I think we can do a number on the Giants as far as holding their offense down. But I think we got to go out there and score. Like they got to go out there and just put a whooping on these dudes and knock the thing out early. But I'm not sure that we have the pieces, parts, and honestly, the quarterback at this moment to do it. Like.
You're saying we don't have the quarterback to do it? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not sure. No, I'm not saying that we don't. I'm saying I don't know. I'm saying I don't know if we do.
Well, let me read this. We went up against Jacksonville on the road. Deshaun, 22 for 34, 186. 2 sacks, a quarterback rating of 78.8. But Daniel Jones, we're saying that the Giants don't really have a quarterback. But Daniel Jones on the road against Washington, which is not a great football team. His stats, though, 16 for 28 for 178. He had 2 touchdowns with a 100 quarterback rating. Of course, he always gets a few rushing yards as well. I didn't look up Deshaun's, but Jones 5 attempts, 32 yards. So here's what you have to do. Here's the key of the entire week. Somebody guard Neighbors and get up in his grill because he had 18 targets for 10 catches, 127, and a touchdown. So there's your offense right there for the Giants, is get up in Neighbors' face, do not let him get open, and some of our guys, our DBs, should be able to take a little bit of a risk and try to step in front, and hopefully we can get a pick 6 or 2 this week, knowing that they're going to be going today. And if Neighbors would have dropped that ball yesterday, they would have had the victory at Washington. Very catchable ball. Much like, Amari had his drop yesterday. That was Neighbors' drop yesterday for the Giants.
Then, in other Cleveland sports news, everyone's favorite small forward for the Cleveland Cavaliers is back with Isaac Okoro signing a 3-year, $38 million deal after sitting in purgatory as a restricted free agent for the whole summer here as we're now a couple weeks from training camp opening. Um, so the team is pretty much coming back as they were last year. It was something that Kobe Altman kind of alluded to when they brought in Kenny Atkinson as the coach, as that being really the only big move. There are some minor moves, but even Tristan Thompson's back. Marcus Morris this morning signed with the New York Knicks, so that boosts them a little bit, gives them a little bit of an edgier bench player for the post. What are your guys' thoughts on Isaac Okoro coming back for a multi-year deal?
Well, it looks like the core four went to the Fab Five. They're going to steal that line from Michigan Wolverines in the 90s.
Don't you ever loop them in with the Fab Five.
Come on, man. It's Okoro. That's another number one pick.
Who would he be? He would be what? Ray Jackson?
Yeah, probably. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yep. Because Jimmy King was pretty sweet.
Yeah, he was nice.
But yeah, I don't know. Okoro is somebody that every time you watch Okoro, he's going to give you energy and effort. The problem is sometimes he needs to go from, like, when he's dribbling down the court, like, he needs to switch from, like, Red Bull to, like, just some Kool-Aid. Just, like, slow down for a little bit. Like, he gets going too quick in the lane. Next thing, the ball squirting out of bounds. And it's just like, I wish he could contain some of that energy sometimes and just be a little more relaxed and confident with what he's got. Because, the guy is athletic as hell and can defend so many players in the league. It's just he's such a liability on offense. And he's putting in shots, but why can't that transition into game time shots? I don't know. I wish I knew. And hopefully Kenny Atkinson can do something with him with that jump shot. Clarence. Uh-oh.
Clarence is speechless about Isaac Okoro.
Isaac, yep, that's Isaac Okoro. Put Clarence's stream on ice. He froze his screen.
I'm just when we drafted him, I was worried about them that they drafted Andre Roberson. I've said it a million times. I was like, he can defend, but he can't shoot for shit. And we are in year 5 now, and kind of in the same boat. So, he's good for what we need him for. But if you're not an offensive threat in today's NBA, there's only so much of a role that you can play on the court. You gotta have some stoppers, no doubt. But he got to score, and especially with this team that they have that struggled to score points last year. I'm sure he was in the gym all summer. I'm sure he's in the gym every summer, but we're just not seeing the improvement, or maybe he's not being placed in the right, situations to show that he can shoot. We'll see. I don't know. I do have a quick question for y'all though. And this is going this. Sorry, we got to backtrack a little bit. This is going to the Browns. Were y'all satisfied with what you saw from watching yesterday?
The first half, yes.
Anybody?
The second half, not so much. You want to see him put 4 quarters together, and I don't think he's done it yet as a Browns quarterback for one thing or another. I know before he got hurt, he had that good second half in Baltimore. Great second half in Baltimore. but putting 4 quarters together and stuff, he just hasn't been able to do. And you want to see more for what the assets that they put into acquiring him. You want to see more. So better than week 1, yes, but not where you'd hope to see Deshaun Watson.
Sorry, I had to play that music a little bit. I need some feel good because I know the road we're going down, guys. We're going down that road
Where the hell that come
of reality, of knowing that we really didn't play that great of a game, guys, right? We scored 7 in the first quarter. Let me go back to it. 7, I think 3. Where'd it go? 7, 6 in the second. 3 in the third, and then Alex Wright with the slam dunk 2-pointer safety in the fourth. 18 points on the road don't usually get you a victory. So I'm trust me, I'm thankful, but we all know that's not going to be enough in a playoff game. It's not going to be enough in playing a top tier team. So, like I said, let's be happy. Let's enjoy that W because it's better than being 0-2, like Cincinnati, like the Ravens of all teams. So we'll take that. We'll take that victory because right now we're still undefeated in the division, right? Because we haven't played a division game, but they're coming. And the freaking Steelers, 2-0. Just winning it with playing physical and nasty defense. Kevin, we already got there. We got to Isaac.
We've already spoken of that. That shouldn't be spoken about.
Yes, in fact we might not even talk about Isaac Okoro during the season. This might be the most Okoro talk we have the entire rest of 2024.
I'm torn, man. Like, because a lot of people are upset with how Watson played. Because let's just be frank, those are hurt Baker numbers. Those are banged up Baker, throwing for less than 200 yards. Hitting a little under 60% of his passes, whatever it was. And people want to see, like, all right, we showed out a lot of dough for this guy. I'm teetering on the fence of I'm not trying to give this dude the rest excuse any longer, but at the same time, like, it's go time. Like, we got to see better because kind of like we talked about before, there's no possible way, that yesterday's play is going to work out against a good team. Now, I say that, and then we also watched I say that, and we also watched the Saints go in and whoop the ass of the team that drilled us the week before. I don't know where the hell that came from.
No.
We saw Minnesota beat San Fran, and we saw who did Baltimore lose to? They lost to we just said
the Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, they lost to the Raiders. So I mean, I don't know, man. I'm taking this dub and I'm running with it, but I don't know, man. We got to get better QB play. We got to get better QB play, and the people who were running Baker out of town for those kind of numbers need to keep that same energy when Watson does it. Period. And that's all I got to say about that. Sorry.
I've been thinking about this for a while, and I keep forgetting. No, I keep forgetting to bring this up on the show.
I'm sorry, Jake.
No, go ahead. If you want to finish, go ahead.
Oh, all I was going to say is I ain't no Baker bro either. Sorry. I'm just
Yeah, I'm definitely not.
Strikes.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm definitely not as well with Baker. I am very happy for him. I do like the Bucks. I would claim them as my third favorite NFL franchise behind the Chargers when they were in San Diego. I'm trying to like the LA version, but then obviously the Browns number one. But hey, I watched the good highlights and Watson looked more like a quarterback. Yeah. Still, I don't know who would pick that up in any kind of fantasy league, unless you're trying to get lowest score. I just don't see it. But the one thing I want to bring up is that I keep thinking about, and I keep forgetting to bring it up on the show. I want to hear what you guys think. Losing in football hurts more, I think, than any other sport. And the conclusion I come up with is, as I sit here and I watch the Guardians down 3-1 to the Twins right now, if the Guardians lose tonight, the Guardians have another game tomorrow. So it feels like to me that the weight of a loss of an NFL game, or the weight of a loss, even a college football game, high school is probably not, unless you got kids on the team and it's your alma mater or something like that. But the NFL, if your team loses, I think it has the weight of 7 losses. Because you cannot, there is no other game until you get that. I mean, if we're playing Sunday to Sunday, yeah. Now, if you got a Thursday game coming up after a loss, sure, you got a chance to get that out of your system quicker. But I really think that in the NFL, that's why these losses hurt so bad, because you got to just live with it for an entire week in most cases. Whereas baseball is typically another game the next day. NBA, sometimes there's back-to-back games, or 4 games in a week sometimes. What's your guys' thought on that? I've always thought that losing football hurts about as bad as anything in sports.
Yeah, there's only 16 or now 17 opportunities to win. So those losses definitely sting more, where in baseball there's 162 games. So it's about 1/10, of the loss feel. Even with an off day, there's more chances for ebbs and flows within the baseball season. But you go on a 2 or 3 game losing streak in football and your season's pretty much shot. Especially, I know they were talking a lot about just Jacksonville, their franchise in their 30 years or so, never being down or going 0-2 and making the playoffs. That was something that they really kind of harped on yesterday on the TV broadcast. And I mean, it's right. If we were 0-2 right now, we'd probably be saying, fire Stefanski, fire Barry, give Watson away for a bag of stale peanuts, whatever it takes. But, at 1-1, the food tastes better, the outlook's a little better, and, you're looking ahead to Sunday and welcoming the Giants. And I look at our comments real quick before we move on, and I think Leroy Bickerstaff has made a Facebook account and named it Kevin Sleds, because this is Deshaun Watson fanboy stuff going on.
I see
And
Leroy.
that right there is why I don't play fantasy football anymore.
Right, it's crazy.
It's garbage like that. Because we would trade, in a heartbeat, we would trade for either one of those guys, straight up for Deshaun.
I agree with you what you guys are talking about. Yeah, it hurts the worst in football. Just like Derek said, it's you got 16 games, 17 games in the NFL. However many in the college football season, 13, 15, whatever it's going to be. Once they do the playoff. But yeah, and it's you don't get to bounce back tomorrow. Like you watch I watch the Cavs. Cavs go out and throw up a stinker against a team. Next night, or a day later, they'll be out playing. Same thing like Derek said with the Guardians. If you can have a 10-game losing streak in the Major League Baseball and still climb back into it. Can't do no chance to do that in football whatsoever. No chance whatsoever. And I think that's why, especially with the Browns, everybody loves them, and that's why they live and die with them on these Sundays. I was in here clapping and cussing all yesterday from 1 to 4. So, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm gonna take this dub. I'm running with it, but something's got to give. Something got to give next week. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring it all the way back to the Browns because we were talking to IO, but don't nobody wants to hear about IO anyway. So, no disrespect, IO. I'm just saying. We're not.
Yeah, I like the guy, man. He hustles. I give him that. I just need him to make some jumpers. I mean, I need him to hang out. He should have been staying all summer at Mark Price's house or going to all of Mark Price's shooting camps that he had going on throughout Northeast Ohio. I mean, he might have looked a little tall compared to all the grade school kids there, but I don't care. Let's get it right and go to one of the top guys ever. We've talked about our quarterbacks buying Flacco's couch and sleeping on that thing so before they go out and play on a Sunday. We need to send some of our calves maybe to the delivery room where LeBron and Curry were born in Akron, and just go stay the night there maybe before a game. Maybe have some of that luck, have some of that blessing of ability of shooting and jumping and passing and dribbling. Maybe that's what we need. We need a rebirth. The attendance at the Guards game yesterday showed who owns Sundays in Cleveland. Well, Cleveland was in Jacksonville.
I'm assuming the Guardians game was low attendance.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. I didn't look at that.
Probably.
But the thing is, the Guardians are getting ready to give us the 12th division title. The 12th division title of the AL Central. How many have the Browns given us since then? Since 1995? I mean, technically, the AL Central was created in 94? When we first moved into Jacobs Field at that time? I'm trying to remember when the AL Central was created. I don't think it might have coincided with the stadium. So, but yeah, 12 division titles from the Indians Guardians. I forget how many with the Cavs now. Probably about 4, maybe with the Cavs during the LeBron years, and then Browns 1989. 35 years now? How old are you, Derek?
34. Don't make me older than I am.
Yeah. The Browns have won nothing but football games and 0 championships in your lifetime, Derek. I can at least say I've seen division championships. I can at least say I've seen the Browns in AFC championships.
I got to see a playoff win.
Yeah, right.
One.
Hey. We've seen, we haven't seen any division championships from the Browns, but we've seen a referee get pushed down. We've seen the GM called down to the sidelines. We've seen Doug Peterson come in and play a game. What else? We've seen some things.
We've seen some shit.
Dwayne Rudd throw his helmet at the end of the Chiefs game in Week 1 to draw a flag. Bottle Gate.
Seen Jamie Meter. Yeah, see? Now, what's more memorable? Throwing bottles at referees or an AL division title? Come on, man.
I don't see any fans walking around with bottle championship rings or anything like that. Actually, what's funny is I had to work that day, and my dad at that time had season tickets through his work, and nobody wanted the tickets. I had to work, and my father-in-law and my wife went to that game. And I'm sitting there, I was at work, and I was able to watch a game, and I'm like, holy crap. Because it was the same end zone where the seats were, except thankfully they were upper level, because I can guarantee you neither of them were throwing any bottles. But then after that, do you remember when they would give you they'd sell you a beer, but then they wouldn't give you the top with it because they were afraid you're going to put it back on, leaving the beer in there or refilling with water and throwing it on the field or whatever.
They took
Take
your
somebody
cap
out.
from your water bottle. They didn't care any bottle they wouldn't give you a cap to.
I wonder if they still do that. Or is it all cans now?
Nah, beers are $13. I ain't throwing that shit.
Oh, hell no. I am never, I will never buy a beer in that damn stadium. No way. You know what they're going to be in Brook Park? No way.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
This would be the week to go, though, against the Giants.
Yeah. Almost.
This is the week. This is the one where they should, where the offense got to wake up. This is the week, offense. This is the Deshaun game. This is where he comes back, and in Houston, Deshaun rises up from the ashes. However, Jason Lloyd did comment yesterday. He said Deshaun told the CBS crew that he's not trying to be the quarterback he was in Houston. He trusts the talent here more and just needs to be a facilitator. The Browns probably would have liked to have known they were getting a facilitator before they gave up 3 number ones and $230 million. Yeah. But I honestly think that's where we're at. We're like, dude, just win games. And can he learn how to slide? Can somebody teach him how to slide? Can you send him down to Progressive Field and let Jose or somebody teach him how to slide? The guy just can't figure it out. He's always getting tackled weird. Can he look like Russell Wilson at all on the slide? Ever? $18 for a beer in Brook Park? Hell yeah, probably right.
At least.
That's probably right.
That's after we finance the stadium. That's probably after we help finance the damn stadium too.
Right.
It'll be bring your own damn cup by that time. Got to wash your own cup after you're done. Oh man, wrap us up, Derek. Wrap us up.
Yes. Yep.
Should we do any predictions for next week?
Yeah, we can do a quick prediction. Clarence, what do you have the Browns doing on Sunday?
What did we do preseason? I don't even remember who the hell we picked. We had to have picked the Browns. There's no way we picked the Giants.
I picked the Browns. I picked the Browns in this game, and I'm going to pick them again. I just don't know what we're going to see. Browns win 24-13. Write it down.
Okay. It's wrote.
Chris, what you got?
Man, that was very authentic, Derek. I could hear that very well. According to my calculations, I believe that we will actually score 30-some points and win this week.
Oh.
But that's because the defense, once again, gets on the scoreboard, not with a safety, but not one, but 2 defensive touchdowns. 1 pick six, 1 fumble recovery, and get in the end zone. Touchdown, Browns.
I think the Browns will win. I'll do 20-6. I think the defense is going to play strong.
Oh my gosh.
But the offense still doesn't build a lot of faith. And the Godfather chimes in. He says Browns 27, Giants 16. For
13.
Clarence,
I think it's 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got 13.
My bad.
I like that score better. Your guys' score is going to put me to sleep at halftime. I need some points. I need some offense. I need some scoring.
Well, maybe the Saints will be on Fox.
Don't think I didn't close my eyes in the second half. don't think I didn't close my eyes in the second half and pause that shit on Sunday yesterday. That actually happened.
Right.
And you were at the game in Jacksonville sitting in the rain too, right?
Yeah.
And you still fell asleep.
He is trying to figure out how to get up to that pool. He saw some of the babes sitting in the pool.
I don't do public pools. Like, yeah, 100% of them kids are pissing in that pool. I'm not jumping in.
Oh
there.
my gosh! I mean,
Yeah,
yellow.
they're
I mean,
in that
yellow is in
corner.
there. There is some yellow in the Jacksonville colors, so whatever.
Those kids were posted up in that corner all game, though. Clarence is right. There had to be some.
I do not want a damn pool in a football stadium.
They pissed in that pool. Not me. No.
All right, now we definitely have to go now because Kareem has predicted the Giants to win 24-23 over our Browns. So, on that note, Kareem, we're calling it a show. Thank you, everyone, for coming on.
I hope you're wrong, Kareem.
Yes, we all do, Kareem. But for James, for Clarence, thank you for listening. We'll be back next Monday to recap the Browns-Giants game. Hopefully the Guardians have clinched a playoff spot by then, and maybe Isaac Okoro will know how to shoot a three-pointer.